Geto is frustrated over this repeated exorcising and absorbing of curses. The reason behind his frustration is twofold. One, the curses keep appearing, and second, they taste as bad as Mayuri from Steins Gate's cooking. To help people, he decided to become a Jujutsu sorcerer and has been pushing himself since that day. Utime shares the information about this haunted mansion that belonged to the owner of a local barbecue chain store. Unfortunately, a mad cow disease made the store lose all its worth, and when its owner couldn't bear this trauma, he, along with his family, killed themselves. Dazai is proud of him. Rumors about this mansion were quick to spread, and many people attempted to test their courage by entering the haunted mansion. However, not even a single person returned. The Jujutsu headquarters want this issue to be quickly resolved, so they put Miyame in charge to look into it. Seeing the urgency, Miyame was able to extort headquarters for more money. Utaheim and Mi enter this abandoned building that looks like Akira from Zoom 100's room. They decide to split up to get this over with as soon as possible. Utaheim goes to the second floor, while Mei searches on the first floor. Utaheim checked every room and couldn't find anything until this last room. She hears a strange sound coming from under the bed, and when she bends down to check, it turns out to be rats. Unfortunately, rats are scarier than curses for Utaheim. She runs back outside where Mi asks if she finds anything. Utaheim asks if Mi is done with the first floor, but she tells her that this is the first floor. Mi then points towards the bags and snacks lying on the floor, sharing that she has seen them 3 times now. They conclude that they are successfully trapped in this infinite corridor. Mi then guides Utaheim on how it is different from an innate domain, which is a simple imaginary illustration. Now Utaheim has to propose a way to break this loop. After walking 4 times, she reveals that the number of steps to complete one cycle were different each time, so the barrier is being reconstructed repeatedly and the curse is not that strong. If they run at full speed, the barrier will surely collapse. However, Miyai tells her that it would be more efficient if they both run in opposite directions. Utaheim starts her Fiobe run from friends and notices that her plan is working until it really starts to collapse, and now she is running for her life. She ends up getting caught in the mess, however. To save her and, more importantly, make fun of her, Gojo is here. The curse suddenly appears from underneath the rocks, but is immediately knocked out by Geto's curse. Geto, Gojo, and Shoko are sent here to rescue Mei and Utaheim, as they have been in the mansion for 2 days. That doctor who treated Itadori in Season 1, yeah, that's Shoko. This is what medical does to a person. If you thought of her as Nobara at first glance, don't worry, a lot of people did. These 3 bright students forgot to put on a curtain, and now everyone has footage of the mansion crumbling. Guess who the baka that forgot to put on the curtain is? It's obviously Gojo. As a result, he gets a punch from Masamichi. At the basketball court, Gojo is wondering why people make a big deal about seeing curses, but Geto reminds him that Jujutsu exists to protect non-sorcerers. Gojo wants these non-sorcerers to stop being so weak, and since he is against such common beliefs, a quarrel breaks out among them. To peacefully resolve the issue, they decide to step outside for a duel. Just then, Masamichi enters the room and informs them that upon Master Tengen's direct orders, they both are tasked to guard and escort the star plasma vessel to Master Tengen. He will then erase her. Even though he has the cursed technique of immortality, his continuous aging results in his technique of trying to rebuild the body. In such case, he will lose his will and Jujutsu sorcerers will not get any stronger and all protective barriers will collapse. Geto tells Gojo that Tengen needs to rewrite the body's information every 500 years. Gojo understands everything in his Digimon language and concludes that Tengen does not want to transform into Skull Greymon and has to start at Cormon to become a Metal Greymon. Information about the Star Plasma Vessel's whereabouts has been leaked, and now Curse User Group Q and Time Vessel Association are after her life. The first one wants to drive Tengen into a rampage, while the latter is a star religious group that worships Tengen and wants to keep away the impurities. Since the merging is scheduled in 2 days, so the strongest 2, Gojo and Geto, have to protect her until then and escort her at the required time. Since the Time Vessel is a group of non-sorcerers, Geto wants to keep an eye on Q. Gojo tells him not to worry as these two happen to be the strongest guys in the world. Geto uses this opportunity to convince Gojo that he should start talking like grown-ups now, and he is way too childish for his age. Gojo understands his concern and being his good friend, he immediately refuses, saying he doesn't want to. Suddenly, the girl's room blasts, and she gets thrown out of the window. However, Geto catches her in time and confronts the assassin from Q. Another assassin tries to throw knives at Gojo, but they stop in midair. Since he wants Gojo to live up to his name, Gojo sets up a few rules before they start fighting. That is, if this assassin starts crying and begs for his life, Gojo will spare his life. Poor assassin. Meanwhile, this smoky agent tells Zenin that the Star religious group has offered a lot of money to kill the vessel and suggests him to take on this mission. Zenin shares that he has abandoned his old name and now goes by his wife's surname, Fushiguro. Also, he agrees to take down the vessel for Star religious group. Amanai Riko and her maid, Kuroi, are enjoying a nap in their peaceful, bombarded room while Geto makes himself tea. If you are wondering where the assassin from Q is, don't ask, because the poor guy is being harassed by Geto's lusty curse who wants to desperately kiss him. The assassin begs for forgiveness just so he doesn't have to kiss this curse. However, Geto gives no response, so he gets triggered and warns Geto to let him go before the strongest assassin from Q-Bear arrives here. Just then, Geto receives a selfie from Gojo. See that knocked-out assassin behind Gojo? Yeah, that's the bear he was talking about. Fushiguro's smoky agent finds him betting at a boat race, and don't be deceived by his confidence. Fushiguro has yet to win his first ever bet. Since Gojo Satoru is tasked to protect the plasma vessel, he knows that charging without a plan would only lead to failure. Therefore, he used all the deposits from Time Vessel to put up a bounty on Riko's head. The assassins are supposed to weaken Gojo. Just like this race, Fushiguro intends to win back all the deposits as well. The agent is satisfied, and as he is about to leave, he asks Fushiguro, aka the Jujutsu Killer, about Megumi. After some thinking, he refuses to acknowledge any Megumi. About the boat race, yeah, he lost again. Geto and Gojo are thinking about Shoko's reversal technique to heal Riko, however. They can't even understand her words, let alone her technique. Even after she explained to them in detail how her technique is basically swish and flick. However, Gojo and Geto couldn't understand the swish and flick. Riko then wakes up and notices herself in a stranger's arms. She immediately breaks free with a slap on Gojo's face. Geto is enjoying Gojo's insult until she calls his bangs weird. Now these mature men need to teach her a lesson. She really called for it. Kuroi enters the room while riding on a curse, and when Riko asks, she tells her that this curse belongs to this nice gentleman with bangs. Riko then tries to tell these ignorant men that she is Tenjin and Tenjin is she. By becoming his vessel, she is going to live forever. However, Gojo is busy showing off his new wallpaper to Geto. Seeing how rude she is, Gojo and Geto are now feeling better about getting rid of her as no one would miss such a person. It's already time for school, and Riko wants to go. Surprisingly, she gets permission from headquarters as Tenjin wants all her wishes to be fulfilled. That is because she won't be able to meet her friends ever again. 2 of Geto's curses that were placed at school are exorcised, so they immediately rush to school. Geto heads off to take care of the unknown that exorcised his curses, while Gojo and Kuroi run off to the chapel where Riko's music class should be going on. Smoky Agent asks Fushiguro why he is sending other assassins, but he clears up his misunderstanding. The assassins are bound to fail because of the presence of the first 6 eyes in hundreds of years, paired with the limitless curse technique Gojo Satoru. Geto runs into this old dude and gets ready for a fierce mind battle. The old man activates his Kira brain and notices that Geto isn't moving forward, so he must be weak at close combat. With his experience, reading Geto's mind is nothing. However, Geto knows what he's doing, and he is letting the old man read his thoughts. However, the old man knows that Geto knows that the old man knows. Throw in a notebook, and you will have a Death Note episode 26. Still better than its actual episode 26 and the following. However, as per the legacy of Lelouch, young minds win, so Geto shows the old man an illustration of his old dog just when he is about to land a hit on Geto. People leave, and dogs stay, like the hero Tasuke. Before the old man realizes that it's just an illustration, Geto knocks him out. Meanwhile, Gojo makes a dramatic entry into the chapel. Now all the girls are drooling over this hot guy, asking if he's Riko's boyfriend. If not, they want to try their luck with him. However, Riko's life is in danger, and Gojo is here to fulfill his duty, so he takes off his shades to properly flaunt his beauty. He even throws a couple of poses for his fangirls. Gojo Satoru fact number 1. He likes girls' attention. Sensei finally takes control of the situation and tries to sneak her phone number to Gojo. Spending all day at school leaves her little chance of getting a date, so she goes all out. Gojo then picks up Riko and starts heading toward Jujutsu High School. This way, her friends wouldn't get caught up in this mess. A muscular guy with a funny paper bag mask notices Gojo with Riko. Before he could follow them, Kuroi ambushes him with her deadly broom. A fierce battle breaks out, and using the broom as a baseball bat, she hits a home run with 2 balls at the same time. Kuroi wins. Geto then forces him to stay on the ground and informs Gojo about the bounty. The masked guy disappears, and turns out he uses a cloning technique. With 4 other clones, he surrounds Gojo. While holding this floating girl in his left hand, Gojo takes out 2 of the 5 clones. Then he holds her up and takes down 2 more clones. Now only 1 body is left, so that automatically becomes the original. When he asks how Gojo could tell his technique, Gojo reveals that his technique involves the convergence of infinite series, and so his eyes could see through his technique, and nothing could ever touch him. The assassin is not as dumb as his mask is, so using the single edge he has over Gojo, he devises a new plan. Since he has more leg muscles, he starts running away as fast as possible. However, Gojo then shows the other half of his technique, the divergence of the infinite series. He trashes away his surroundings. Thank you for this mappa. And sucks the assassin up close using his technique. Gojo Satoru fact number 2. He likes to show off his power. He then tries Shoko's reversal technique to reverse all the damage. Before that, Gojo Satoru fact number 3. He always lets his crazy side win and causes a lot of damage. He fails to execute the technique, and now the whole floor is destroyed. Just then, Riko receives an image on her phone. Turns out, it's Kuroi tied up. Kuroi has been kidnapped. Riko tells Gojo about Kuroi being kidnapped. Since Geto is faster, Kuroi told him to go after Riko thus. The kidnappers found an opportunity. Geto is frustrated as he neglected the importance of Kuroi. They expect the kidnappers to ask for an exchange, Riko for Kuroi. However, having Riko means they got the upper hand. Gojo wants her to be sent to Jujutsu High School, and Shoko, or someone, could be her double and go to the training site. Riko protests, saying that she wants to go with them. She doesn't want to be merged before saying a final goodbye to Kuroi. Gojo agrees, but if her presence lowers Kuroi's survival chances, they will go without her. Day 2 of protecting Riko and the ones fighting yesterday, Riko and Gojo are enjoying the beach together in Okinawa. Don't worry, Kuroi is here as well. She was fooled by a non-sorcerer of Star religious group and brought here to Okinawa. However, she was easily rescued by Gojo and Geto. They arrived here on plane, and luckily, Satoru has good eyes, so he checked every passenger. Also flying with the plane was Geto's cursed spirit. Geto is still confused as to why Kuroi was brought to Okinawa. Nanami is also here to provide extra security. The junior with him is excited to see his hard-working seniors. Meanwhile, this hard-working senior is poking Sea Cucumber along with Riko. Now they are running after each other. Kuroi and Geto are having a good time watching these kids play. However, it's already time to leave, and Riko wants to stay a bit more. Gojo realizes what she wants just by her expressions and suggests extending their stay till morning. Riko immediately lights up. That way, the bounty on her will end when they will still be in flight. Geto is more worried about Gojo, who hasn't dismantled his curse technique since yesterday, and he hasn't been sleeping, but Gojo tells him that he's alright. Riko then tries boating for the first time, running in a beautiful garden of flowers, enjoying tasty food, which Gojo is trying to ruin by throwing in spices and visiting an aquarium. Riko is having the best of her life. However, it's time to leave, and now day 3 of protecting Riko. They have already reached the Jujutsu High School, and since this place is inside the school's barrier, they are safe now. Geto praises Gojo for keeping up till now, and Gojo irritates Riko by saying that he won't ever babysit again. Just then, a sword pierces through Gojo's chest. The one holding this sword is Toji Fushiguro. Many years ago, Fushiguro wanted to see the famous Six Eyes kid born in the Gojo family, so he went to their place. As he was standing behind Gojo walking away, Gojo notices him and turns around. This was the first and last time anyone noticed Fushiguro standing behind them. Therefore, he weakened Gojo's spirit until he becomes dull. Gojo managed to avoid getting hit at any vital organs, and he could still fight, so he tells Geto to take Riko to Master Tenjin while he deals with Fushiguro. Geto agrees, and Gojo notices the cursed spirit on Fushiguro's shoulder, and the sword he is holding is different from the one he used to stab Gojo. Gojo reminds him that the bounty ended, so he could head home. However, Fushiguro reveals that he is the one who withdrew that bounty. He set up false endpoints to deal with a flawless guy like Gojo, and without that time limit, Gojo wouldn't dismantle until the very last moment. Fushiguro has no cursed energy, and Gojo in his current state cannot even see him, let alone attack. However, when Fushiguro approaches Gojo, his six eyes detect him and send him flying. Because of no cursed energy, Gojo cannot sense him, and he's using his speed and the houses and trees to hide behind. However, this issue can be addressed in a single move, so Gojo uses the cursed technique lapse at maximum output and wipes out his surroundings so there's no cover. However, flyheads approach him in huge numbers, and with lots of blind spots again, Gojo figures that his real target is Riko. Fushiguro has been waiting for this moment. Gojo can even notice him empty-handed, so to sneak with this cursed tool, he needed to force Gojo to go on defense. He penetrates the shield and stabs Gojo's neck. He then slides the dagger down to slice off Gojo's upper body. He then stabs Gojo's leg repeatedly, and after a few more attacks, Fushiguro completely outwits and overpowers Gojo. Gojo Satoru, the strongest, has been defeated. Fushiguro is glad to have finally gotten back his touch. Meanwhile, Geto has already arrived at Tenjin's barrier. Kuroi says her final goodbye to Riko, and after they cry while hugging each other, Geto leads Riko to the main hall of Tombs of the Star. After she descends the stairs and passes through that gate, she will reach the special barrier that only those invited can pass through. After that, Tenjin-sama will protect her. However, if she wants, she can go back to her friends in Kuroi. Riko is shocked to hear this option, and Geto explains that Gojo and he agreed to go against Master Tenjin if the vessel refuses to merge. Being the strongest, they will gladly take on Tenjin. No matter what her choice is, they will keep protecting her. Riko thinks about how she has been special and different since childhood. She has always avoided all kinds of danger. She does not remember when her parents died, nor does she feel sad or lonely anymore. That's why she thought it would be okay to merge. However, thinking about them again, she starts crying as she wants to spend more time with everyone. Geto understands her choice and extends his hand to take her back. As she is about to hold his hand, a bullet passes right through Amanai Riko's head. Fushiguro has killed Amanai Riko. Geto asks why he's here, and he tells Geto that he even killed Gojo Satoru. Geto is devastated, and so he unleashes his curses and the episode ends.